Hi everybody, my name is Nick Davis. I'm a craft chocolate maker in Jamaica. We're in my chocolate factory, chocolate studio. I don't know how best to describe, but in this tasting, we'll be exploring the vibrant world of chocolate via the innovators who are driving change in fair and ethical chocolate production in healthy and environmentally sustainable practices. We're going to be diving into curated selections of chocolates from these makers and looking at how they're pioneering some really interesting ways in actually pushing forward the movement. So all of the producers who you're going to be seeing using things like direct trade, or they're actually tree-to-bar producers like myself, or they're actually farm-to-table producers. All of those meanings, and we're going to break down in further detail. We're looking at environmentally sustainable brands who are leading the way in regenerative agriculture. We're looking at upcycling and how you can produce something here which is 100% locally sourced, from packaging all the way through to the use of the sugars, whichever they're using. It's a different way of doing chocolate production, but it's a fair way. So not only are these brands and companies aiming to change the world, but they're also trying to make tastes which will make you appreciate chocolate in a different way. Please enjoy an opportunity to indulge in world's changing chocolate. So this isn't your average sort of candy bar. Craft chocolate is about much more than that. I like to sort of use the analogy that craft chocolate, as opposed to sort of store-bought candy or chocolate confections, is like the difference between using champagne grapes to make raisins, or to make grape juice. It's completely different. We're really highlighting what can really be done from bean to bar. So everybody, the next stage is to set the table. The plan is to be able to get a napkin, a knife, some water if you have it available. Also, if you've got a mug, a spoon and a kettle for the last sample, which we may actually turn into a sipping chocolate as we melt it down. So between the courses, between the samples, I want you to take a little glass of water. That's going to reset your palate. When you're actually going to be preparing the samples, get a sharp knife, be very careful as you hold it, cut down on those samples, break them up into smaller pieces, and then you're going to take a little bit of the chocolate, you're going to sniff that chocolate just to be able to get some of the aroma, and then you're going to put it on your tongue, and you're going to allow it to melt. And as you allow it to melt, you're going to be noticing flavors changing as it goes and moves across your palate. So chocolate tastings normally start with the darkest bars first. So we're going to be doing that when we go through this. Now, two important things. One of the reasons why dark chocolate is good for us is because the higher level of antioxidants which exist within the cocoa beans is less sugar. Some people would argue that sugar is a drug. Some people would argue that the whole of colonization within this part of the region existed because of a need to be able to fulfill that addiction. But either way, whatever your view of history or whatever, one of the things which we're trying to do here with the Cocoa Future Collaborative is actually encourage healthier eating. Most of the chocolates which you'll be tasting today are two ingredients, either cacao itself, cocoa, and craft sugars, artisanal sugars from the actual region themselves, or they're using things like alternative milks, or using sweeteners which have a lower glycemic index, which generally are better for people, especially if they have issues such as diabetes. But I do want to set the record straight. Chocolate isn't like going to your local health food store. Ultimately, this is cacao, which is high in antioxidants, but it's really got to be at that sort of higher level, that 80, 90, 100% to really be sort of hitting those marks. It's about seeing chocolate as not just a guilty pleasure, but one which actually does something to nourish the soul. Many of the people who you're going to be seeing today have a history, a connection to farms and a history to cacao, which really sort of does elevate it. In fact, the name of cacao itself, the fruit which we make chocolate, is Theobroma cacao, food of the gods. And for many of the people who are connected today, their stories have that elevated element of seeing cacao as being more than just a candy, more than just a confection, but something really which sort of hits right at the center of their souls. So first up is some chocolate which is better for you. That's from AWKI chocolate. Again, it's that higher percentage, 100% cacao content in the case of AWKI. Natalia is going to be the person who we're going to be hearing from in just a moment. And one of the things which is really key to what they do as a chocolate company is really pushing women's empowerment. So over to you, Natalia.
Hi, I am Natalia. I am the founder of AWKI Chocolates, a company based in Ecuador. We are known for making very innovative chocolates, but today we are going to taste a bestseller chocolate, this one, the purity one. This chocolate is sweetened with the cacao mucilage, which is the white pulp that covers the beans. We use the cacao mucilage in a pure way, freeze-dried, but absolutely pure. This makes that our chocolates is suitable for diabetics. So this chocolate comes in the shape of these coins, which have the faces of ancient gods. When you taste this coin, you will find very intense notes from citrus fruits, like maybe orange or tangerine, but this comes absolutely from the pulp. But also you will feel behind some notes of maybe jasmine or herbal plants, because the cacao that we use is very aromatic and it has really amazing flavors. And combined with the intense flavor of our cacao beans, then it makes a wonderful mix. So I'm going to taste it, but I invite you to try these ones, which are really, really awesome. Yeah. So the citrus comes first, then you can find the intense flavor of the cacao per se, plus a really soothing sensation from the cacao butter. Oral creations include cacao nibs, which make them crunchy, because crunchy foods are known to help you relieve anxiety and stress. Thank you for being with us today. Bye.
So Ecuador could be seen in many respects as being the genetic birthplace, along with Peru, that Ecuador-Peruvian border, as being the sort of epicenter of the genetic birthplace of cacao, but it made its way northwards and southwards through the continent, going all the way down into places like Brazil, but making its way northwards into North America, into Mexico. And we know that in Mexico, cacao's importance culturally, spiritually, symbolically is massive. One of the companies which is really pushing that is JOYVILLE. And we're going to be hearing from Marcela, who's going to tell us a little bit more about what they're doing to basically try and reduce the amount of sugar which is within chocolate which is consumed. In many respects, they see chocolate as being an addictive substance. And as such, they want to try and connect us more with this more natural product, which is not only good for us, good for the environment, but also tastes amazing.
Hi, my name is Marcela Rodriguez. I'm the founder of JOYVILLE. We're located in Monterrey, Mexico. I started this company around 5 years ago. I was looking for something natural and delicious for my family. I'm the mother of four, and I couldn't find anything that was made with only natural ingredients. So basically, all of our bars are only made with cacao beans, tahini, organic coconut sugar, and organic honeybee. We have different flavors. Chocolate has always been a part of my life. It's my natural happy pill. I eat it on a daily basis. And our latest flavor, the one that you're gonna try, and I hopefully you like it, is the Adaptogens mix. We use 5 different types of mushrooms. I don't know if you're familiar with the adaptogens, but they are called adaptogens because they basically adapt to what your body needs. They usually are good for your cognitive, for your immune system, nervous system. In particular, this flavor, I either have a small square or a portion in the morning, or either in the evening, so I can have it to sleep. I hope you enjoy it, and that's it. I hope you like it. Bye-bye.
So when you're searching for chocolate, what are the things which you should be looking out for? Well, a moment ago, we looked at 2 companies which spoke about high cacao content. That's one way, because we know that when you've got high cacao content, there's nowhere to hide. You often see chocolates which are high cocoa content, which have been, I don't know, they kind of taste a little bit burnt, a little bit off. You're not really tasting any notes coming off them. Well, it's inferior beans. they're literally roasting it to within an inch of its life as a way of being able to disguise the fact that it's rubbish in there. Or you look at the back and you see how much sugar is in there. But one way for chocolate companies to increase their margins is basically to dump a load of milk powder or a load of sugar in there to basically reduce the amount of the most expensive bit of a chocolate bar, which is the actual cocoa. Many of them are just really chocolate flavored confectionery snacks. But today you're going to be trying the real deal. Avoid terms like Dutched or alkalized chocolate. Really, these are industrial processes, again, aimed at improving the sort of bottom dollar for a lot of these companies. If you're going to be looking at alternative sweeteners, craft chocolate is definitely a way to go. People are using things like monk fruit, they're using things like the cacao fruit itself as a way of being able to sweeten the chocolate, reducing the sort of glycemic index on it, and enabling a whole bunch of people who wouldn't be able to have chocolate normally to be able to enjoy it along with the rest of us. Avoid natural flavors. That's just like the devil's work. No, I mean, being serious, it's just a real cheap way of being able to say that we're not using the real deal because it's too expensive, but we're giving you a little bit of vanillin or vanilla natural flavor so that you make it feel so it feels kind of expensive, but it isn't. And watch out for the hidden milk, which is sometimes in dark chocolate. I know it sounds surprising, but it's added in there, adds a little bit of sweetness, reduces the amount of sugar in there. But for those of you who are lactose intolerant, yeah, you're going to be knowing about it. So as makers in origin countries, we're all about ethical sourcing. Well, I guess being in an origin country means that you don't necessarily have to be all about origin sourcing, but when you actually have to deal with the farmers yourself, day in, day out, yeah, there's nowhere to hide. And so that's what most of the makers who are here are all about. Not because it increases our margins, not because it sort of looks good in packaging, but it's the right thing to do. How do you do that as a socially conscious buyer? Well, what we try to do is collectively nurture cacao at its roots, where craft chocolate actually is sourced from. So we try our best to make sure that we not only contribute to the lives of the farms and the farmers we work with, but we also try to do better to the environment, making sure that in many respects the chocolate which we produce honors every person who's been through the sort of life cycle of the cocoa bean, or producing the sugar, or even working to make the bags which the cacao is shipped in, to actually working on sticking the packaging together for you to enjoy at home. The next person up you may recognize, he's from Jamaica. He has a very peculiar English accent because his parents were sort of, they went away in the 1960s. But my dad was from a cocoa growing region, my mum from a sugarcane growing region. That sort of combination, the sort of cane and the cocoa bean come together to make chocolate. So it was inevitable that that was the route I was going to go down. So everybody, please, I'm going to throw over to this other guy. So, hi everybody, my name is Nick Davis. I am a chocolate maker based in Jamaica. You're in Bath now, which is one of the earliest botanical gardens in the Western Hemisphere. And it's also the location of one of the farms which we work with, a wonderful place called Bachelor's Hall. This has been like the backbone of some of the most famous chocolates which came out of the early era of craft chocolate when they were looking for new origins. We've been lucky enough to be able to be one of a few companies in Jamaica which is allowed to buy these beans, and you're tasting them today. Flavour notes, a little bit like digestive biscuit, graham cracker coming through it, but also on top of that you've got really strong stone fruit flavours coming through at the same time. So everybody, enjoy. We look forward to getting your feedback on what you think of our bars. Thank you. So here in Jamaica, we're not a big island. We're actually one of the largest islands, but we don't produce a lot of cocoa. That is literally the opposite of our nearest neighbours, which is Hispaniola, which is the island shared with Haiti and the Dominican Republic. They produce loads of cocoa. In fact, Dominican Republic is the largest producer of organic cacao in the world. Now, that is home to Inaru, which is an amazing partnership between Erica and Jeanette, two sisters who run Inaru Chocolate. They founded it in 2018. The bar which they're going to be sharing with you today is 67% orange and fennel. They're daughters of cacao farmers. They have managed to fund an incredible business. It takes money to be able to make this a reality, and they've been able to share it with some of the sort of top sort of catwalks and red carpets across the world in only a very short space of time. I'm super jealous of them and actually kind of in awe. Two real sort of butt-kicking sisters doing it for themselves. So over to you guys.
Hi, my name is Janet Liriano, and I'm the CEO and co-founder of Inaru. Inaru is a sister-owned, vertically integrated chocolate company. We make chocolates that are organic, vegan, gluten-free, and toxin-free. I'm so excited to share with you one of our favorite bars, the Orange Fennel. This is a bar that really shows off the complexity of Dominican cacao. It's really rich. Citrus brings out the natural fruity tones that are in the chocolate, and the fennel gives it this earthy spice that I really feel is unlike anything else that's on the market. I think that the Orange Fennel bar just fits the holiday season perfectly. It'll bring the warmth of the tropics and really what we're doing at Inaru to you. At Inaru, we really believe that we're the best chocolate for the world, and we define that for ourselves with how we create impact for the people, planet, and the process of making amazing products. We're really proud to be one of the few companies that pays at least 30% above the commodity price of cacao directly to our farmers. We also offer a direct incentive for every product that we sell that goes back to the communities. So when you buy our bar, you can know that they're sharing in the benefit of the finished product. So I hope that as you enjoy a bit of this orange fennel, you know that your joy is shared.
We're passionate about the Cocoa Future Collaborative because it keeps more of the money where it probably truly belongs, which is with the communities within the country. When you look at how chocolate traditionally is sold, most of the money has always gone to the retailer, and then almost a small amount went to a distributor, and then the manufacturer, the maker, gets probably, what's left over, depending on where that chocolate's being made and some of the economic situations, the cost of electricity in the country where that chocolate is being made. But one of the things which is most amazing about being able to sell directly is that we're able to change the way the model works. And most of the money stays within the country. It stays with the maker. It stays with the farmer. The people who normally get more and more salami sliced as the sort of process goes on. So that's why we're, with the Cocoa Future Collaboration, just trying to push that more and more. So how do you make sure you're buying well? Well, number one, buy from us today at the Cocoa Future Collaborative. No, being truthful, what you want to do is you want to look for certain telltale signs. Some of the tells which you're looking out for are words like tree to bar or farm to bar. However, have to be very careful. Things like single origin are being co-opted by big chocolate, by the chocolate companies who are buying in bulk and paying peanuts. Look for origin made. So you're looking for where you can see, it can be sort of branded, and you've got to be aware of that. But you're looking for where you can see a connection between the farm, the farmer, and a location to the actual origin of that actual chocolate bar itself. Direct trade or transparent trade, I'll get into the definitions of that later on, but it's pretty straightforward. I know you, I buy from you, and then I make a product. Simple. And the same thing can be done with distribution as well, right? Especially with specialty chocolate shops and subscription models. They know us and they buy from us, and it's literally all the way through. Look for information about the company on their website or on their social media. You can tell how connected people are because of the relationships which they have. They can be engineered, of course. Sometimes you do get some chocolate makers sort of parachuting in for their social media feeds. But outside of that, often you can tell the connections when it's an ongoing relationship. And it's not just done when the person needs beans. It's done because, there are two people who have a mutually beneficial relationship. And it's often a friendship because it's not straightforward on either sides, being the maker and also being the farmer. And yeah, be aware of some of the buzzwords in food like Rainforest Alliance, organic certified, fair trade. Some of them are good stuff, some of them not so good. Organic is great, but it's really hard to be organic in many parts of the world. But yet the products are made in an organic way. And actually to get certified as organic means that you have to shell out a ton of money, which often the farmers, the chocolate makers don't have. But it is organic because literally these farmers can't afford the inputs to do it any other way. Some of the others, Rainforest Alliance, Fair Trade, again, people have to pay to get these accreditations. And sometimes they're just going through sort of bureaucratic hoops in order to be able to make more money. They don't really give a damn about anybody apart from... Treated bar chocolate is where the farmers are working with their own trees, their own plants on their own acreages, and they're doing the pruning. They're the ones who are working with the nurseries. They're the ones who are picking the fruit. They're the ones who are plucking the seeds. They're the ones who are fermenting, drying, and taking all the way through the various steps of processing to bring the chocolate directly to you. The other form which a lot of the makers on this platform are using is farm to bar. Now, they may not necessarily own the property or lease the property where the trees are. They may not be farmers, but they're working directly with smallholder farms to work in collaboration, to, in some respects, work with them on the fermentation, to hone it, to be able to bring out the best flavors for chocolate making, bringing the two sides of chocolate making, which is so important, the post-harvest and the actual growing of the trees together to be able to make really incredible chocolates. Chocolate which is made from cacao in the country of origin is massively transformative. It's something which hasn't happened historically because the raw material has always been sent somewhere else to add value there, not here. But when it's done here, everybody benefits along the chain, be it the farmer with increased prices, be it the processor, the intermediate processor, even the middle persons who exist within the chain. Everybody wins because more of the value of that finished product retains in the country. Even waste materials. Often when beans are being transported across the globe, the husks just go into landfill. They're not reused, whereas even just the basic things, such as them being used to make cocoa teas here in the country of origin, or them being used just as a wonderful way of being able to mulch gardens, is all a win for farmers, producers, manufacturers. We get so much value from basically being able to sell directly abroad. It's just incredible. Direct traders are super important as well. Purchasing beans from people who you know. It may seem crazy, but that isn't often the way that the cocoa futures market works, where people are speculating on the price of cocoa beans and they don't really care who wins or who loses. Well, that's not true. They care who wins. They want it to be them who wins, but they don't care who loses at the end of that. Direct trade is all about making sure that that price remains stable, that everybody wins along the cocoa supply chain, especially the farmers. Again, it's about relationships. You have a number of companies who work specifically with craft chocolate makers in the global north, like Uncommon Cacao, who really want to make sure that they can be middle persons to make sure that the chocolate which is being produced in those countries adheres to some of the values which we set out earlier on. Now, the best way of being able to do that is by literally using big data and literally showing the prices which are being paid to the different farmers and farm groups based on some of the conditions which they go through within their individual countries. So you can see a quote here from Emily from Uncommon Cacao. It's a publication of verified pricing for every transaction along the supply chain, including information about the producer and location. The goal is to create a more equitable and accountable way of trading cacao. number of companies, Uncommon's one, Latitude is another, who are really doing a really good job of making sure that they're keeping people, I don't know, honest. What most people don't realize is that certifications in and of themselves aren't like the most important thing when it comes to buying chocolate. Unfortunately, the reality is for most people that they actually don't really improve the lives of many people who they're actually connecting with. In fact, a study done by Fairtrade back in 2018 in Ivory Coast found that only about 7% of farmers actually achieved a living income benchmark. That in itself is worrying. What certifications do is that they provide a premium on a super volatile commodity. That said, the real benefits are there to be achieved, especially when it comes to things like farmer training, when it comes to organizing communities, and when it comes to marketing. So environmental sustainability is super important. So what we're trying to look at is how to make sure that we're able to produce cacao in a way which isn't going to see deforestation, but it's actually going to add to the biodiversity of the systems in which we live around. One of the companies which do that really, really well are Mashpee. I've kind of got a thing for what they're doing. One of my favorite bars is their cacao fruit bar. So the cacao fruit itself tastes like a cross between pineapple, lychee, and a little bit of mango thrown in for good measure. They do a bar which is almost like a bonbon inside, like a filled bar with that cacao fruit. They started out as a regenerative regenerative agroforestry project, but they really realized that there are benefits by being fully vertical within the supply chain. All the ingredients are grown either on their farm or nearby, and really importantly, it's all about empowering women in the supply chain, making sure that women who are part of that process are honoured with the position and the esteem which they hold within cacao growing communities across the world. Over to Alejandro.
Hello, my name is Alejandro Solano from the Mashpee Chocolate team. Greeting you all from this nice orchard, this food forest where we are in Ecuador, in the Chocó Biosphere Reserve. Today we're going to taste this beautiful bar. It's a 65% chocolate filled with cacao pulp bar, and it's a unique bar we started producing 15 years ago. Nice snap. And it's like a bonbon in a bar. Each of these squares is filled with cacao pulp. Very unique. One of my favorites, and everybody's favorites actually. The filling blends in good with the chocolate. It has like a citrusy, honey, floral, very national cacao. We only work with this heritage to try to save this heritage. Our regenerative project is focusing protecting biodiversity within this plot, but also in the bigger reserve where we are, and protecting toucans, numerous mammals, the river ecosystem. All in all, great chocolate.
So what is agroforestry? That's something which confuses many people. Well, it's a way of being able to intentionally kind of combine the best of two worlds, really, making sure that you keep the biodiversity and the strengths of having a natural system, which is really good for soil health, but also planting out your plants, your shrubs, your trees in a way which is not overwhelming it with the product which you want. But allows everything to kind of collaborate together, so you get sort of not massive yields, but better yields, which are better for the environment and which are better with keeping with the natural look of what the area would be like. Regenerative agriculture is it's an approach to farming which really allows us to put back in. It improves the ecosystem rather than just maintaining it. It helps to slow down some of the damage which is happening to climate change, improving soil health. Simple things such as adding more worms and basically restoring biodiversity. One of the things we're noticing is that if you sort of do more regenerative agriculture, you tend to find that you're seeing more bird species back within these communities. All of these things are good for not only body health, but I find really good for mental health too. Do you know how bad it is taking cacao almost away from the farm and almost away from, and literally shipping beans is, in terms of losing some of the valuable waste which we can put back onto our farms? That's what upcycling is. When a cacao fruit pod is actually removed from the cacao tree, chopped open, and those beans are pulled out and used for processing, 70% of the pod is destined to become waste unless you know how to be able to put it back into your farm system to make sure that it's good. That's work which is being done by Pridi up in northern Thailand there. They're a farm-to-table company. It's really Daniel's search for using local high-end chocolate, which as a chef brought him to realise that Thailand's got amazing cacao. So most of the ingredients in their chocolate is locally sourced. It's direct and traceable. And as I said, creative upcycling to remove food waste and to reduce food waste is really key to their journey. Over to you, Daniel.
My name is Daniel. I'm the founder and owner of Pretty Cacao. We are a chocolate company based in Bangkok, in Thailand. So I'm a chef by training, and when I started making chocolates, I was really determined on making a traceable product, something where we can look at the smallest amount of ingredients and every ingredients we use, trace them back to the soil and the people that make it. This is a bit of a restriction, but it has led us to creating a lot of very interesting flavored chocolates, and a lot of them with friends or products of friends. And the flavor you have in front of you today, what you will be trying, is called blah blah blah. That's a blah is a Thai word for fish, so it basically translates to fish, fish, fish. But like many of our names, it's a little bit tongue in cheek as well. So obviously we also mean blah blah blah. It's a 54% milk, but it's a non-dairy milk. So we use coconut milk powder and organic coconut milk powder, also from one of our friends, to make the milk component in there. The fish sauce in there is this fantastic product. And this fish sauce is not made with squid, like many fish sauce in the country, but it's actually made with Thai anchovies. So it's not smelly, it's more like really umami, salty, rich in flavor. And from the fish sauce we make a somewhat honeycomb-style caramel. So it's a little bit chewy, a little bit crispy, and it's, for me, it's like a perfect mix of salty, sweet, umami, and I really like this chocolate. Funny enough, this has become somewhat our signature chocolate in the country. A lot of Thais know us for being the chocolate maker that has the fish sauce chocolate. When you try it and you taste it, allow yourself to sort of like taste the sweet notes, the coconut, and then wait for this umami kick. It sort of develops as the caramel kind of like melts in your mouth. So it like starts more like chocolatey, sweet. Like I said, it's not smelly. Like this fish sauce doesn't smell. And then it develops in the end into this salty umami flavors, which for me just makes me want to go back and have another piece. Thank you so much for trying our fish sauce chocolate and being brave enough to give that a taste. I hope you really enjoyed it and you liked it as much as I did. Give us a follow on social media. We are Pridi_Cacao on almost all platforms. And if you do come to Thailand, make sure to reach out. Sawadee-ka.
As I said, I'm all about farm to table. As I said, if it wasn't such difficult work, careful I didn't use a bad word there, but yeah, it's amazing what you can do. Because ultimately, when you think about it, in origin countries, we have the beans. So we get first dibs, as we'd say in the UK. We get the first pick of what comes off the farm. And so the next makers, which you're going to see, they're all about that. They're all about using local expertise, using local traditions, using local recipes. Okay, everybody, we're moving across into another chocolate now from Honduras, a treater bar manufacturer called Yahoa. We're going to be hearing from Elma. They specialize in wonderful chocolates which empower women in the cacao and cane sugar industries. These two are literally almost sort of coexisting products which exist within the cocoa and coffee and sugar belt. It's an agroforestry farm. Everything that they do is done from a farm first perspective. So over to Yahoa Chocolate over in Honduras.
Hello, my name is Elmer Pineda from Yahoa Chocolate. We are in Honduras at the Yahoa Lake. My wife and I, we are producers from tree to bar. Means we have a plantation and we produce our chocolate all the way from the bar, from the fruit to the chocolate. Today, I want to present a special bar. This bar was made with 0 kilometers ingredients. All the ingredients were produced in the area. We started with the cacao, which was produced in our plantation. Also, we have our own coconut plantation. This is a dry coconut. We extract the milk from it, and that's the milk that we put in our bar. We also have a vanilla, also real vanilla in our chocolate. We call it 0 kilometers, also because the raw sugar cane is sourced from a co-op, a woman-run co-op from the area. They produce our sugar cane that we use to sweeten this bar. So we invite you to taste this bar. It's very unique, and it's just a real pleasure.
So empowering women is a really important job for the Cocoa Future Collaborative. We're going to talk about that in a moment, but it's not by accident. Let's just leave it there. We're going to go over to El Salvador, and Emily from Belu Chocolate. They're doing a really incredible traditional drinking chocolate. And they're actually the first women-led cocoa bean to bar maker in El Salvador. It's an all-woman team, and it kind of reminds me of my own family history, where cocoa was a product produced by the women of our family to literally improve the conditions for every generation, literally coming out of emancipation to right now. My aunt lives on the same farm that our family literally have owned since the early 1830s, 1840s. So today you're going to be trying tabila. Make sure you have a little taste of water just to enable you to kind of clear your palate and really enjoy this traditional drinking chocolate.
I'm Emily Urias, founder of Cacao. Belu's award-winning all-female team is passionate about crafting exceptional chocolate. By partnering directly with cacao farmers, we ensure our dedication to quality and sustainability is woven into every step of our process. Today, you'll be tasting our most awarded chocolate bar, inspired by the authentic flavor of El Salvador. We combine hand-picked premium cacao, sustainably sourced cane sugar, nutmeg, coriander seeds, and cinnamon. These ingredients are ground and processed together to create a silky and flavorful experience. This unique blend is what makes a tablilla, our traditional hot chocolate. If you prefer to enjoy it as a drink, we recommend the following preparation. 1. Heat 1 ounce of water, break the tablilla into smaller pieces and dissolve. 2. Heat almost 5 ounces of your preferred milk, froth it, and pour it into the chocolate mix. Stir and enjoy.
So everybody, as we get towards the end of today's session, one of the things which I really wanted to share with you was the fact that women have been front and center of pretty much most of this tasting today. Agricultural and export crops tend to be primarily men who are leading the charge. There's historical reasons for that. In many cases, traditional role reasons for that in many cases. But one of the things which has been really clear is that much of collaboration which exists within agricultural spaces, especially in the global south, are often pushed by women. And that's what you've been seeing today. 6 out of 8 of the products you tasted are businesses that are co-led by women. It's not by design, but it's literally what's happened. It's true of many origin-made products. Women and food culture really do go hand in hand. In fact, if you go to many places and you look at how women play roles within the food sector, it's often seen as being very few of them. Only about 5% of the farmers in most products are women. But with cocoa, one of the things which we're seeing is that women are taking a lead. I know that's a situation in my own family where cocoa was used by my auntie. It's been used by my great-grandmother as a way of not only providing sustenance to the family, but also being able to provide additional income. We're really trying to push that with what we're doing with the Cocoa Future Collaborative. So how can you get involved with what we're doing? Well, first and foremost, you've been taking part today. So how can you get involved with what we're doing? Well, first and foremost, you can also connect directly to the different makers which you've been seeing today. All of our names are here. All of our companies, you can find out more information about our story. And if you so feel like it, we'd be blessed if you thought about us to be able to sort of connect with your gift giving over Christmas holidays, over Thanksgiving. And there are links to purchase from each of us individually from the website. If you did enjoy this, please again scan this QR code because by doing this, we'll be able to find out more about what you thought of this tasting, what you think we may be able to improve, and basically, we'd really appreciate it if you did enjoy it, and even if you didn't, just tell us so that we can work on that and basically review our own performance. You can host your own chocolate tastings with friends and family with this kit. We've got 3 completely different kits which are available for purchase. They come both as an individual kit that can be used for virtual tastings online, or group kits which you can actually use for hosting in-person events. Now, each kit is paired with a virtual on-demand video like this one. For more information on the tasting, you can contact us in the About Us section of the website. And last but not least, we just really like to say thank you for taking part, for enjoying chocolate with us. It's been a fun journey. Enjoy it. Remember I said, take the chocolate, savor it, but most importantly, enjoy it, okay? Everybody, it's been an absolute pleasure. If you did enjoy, feel free to support Cocoa Future Collaborative because it is a completely donor-funded 501c3 non-profit. Tell your friends, subscribe to the email list, follow us at Cocoa Future, donate, and also make sure you buy some chocolate. Everybody, please stay well, stay blessed. Thanks very much for your help. Take care. Bye-bye.